Retro Plymouth Gamers on the road. What I've done is I've set myself a little mission this time around. I should say I haven't made an episode of this for a good number of years now because I've sort of shifted in what I'm buying retro-wise, sort of moved up a couple of generations here. And I decided what I'd do is I would have a little look on CEX's website and do a click and collect for the value of sort of like £10. And I've gone primarily with Wii this time around because I think it's good value to be had with Wii software at the minute. But I also found a 3DS game sort of at the last minute as well, which I added to my basket. So the basket spend for today is £17.50. But let's have a little look and see what you would get. These are all from the Plymouth branch. So with Click and Collect, you sort of buy them blind. You don't really know whether they've got booklets or what sort of condition they're in until you get them from the store. So first up, I paid 75p for this one, which is the Prince of Persia Rival Swords. For 75 pence, I think that was an absolute bargain. It's a shame really because the sleeve is a little bit sort of damaged. You see sort of a bit discoloured and doesn't look so great there. But yeah, this is based on sort of the Two Thrones game, which came out like a year or two previous to this. It came out in 2005 on like the GameCube, the Xbox and the PS2. So it's a bit of a weird choice that in like 2007, Ubisoft decided to make the game again for the Wii. But it has like sort of all different Wii rival features in it and different little bits and pieces that probably differ from the original release to make it worth your time. It's got the booklet and the disc is in not bad condition, certainly not anything I think is not going to work, and the disc has no rot or anything like that on it, which is something you've got to keep a watch out for now with ageing optical media. The second game is another 75p, which is Super Fruitful. It's quite an early game on the Wii. It came out around the early part of 2007, bearing in mind that the Wii came out in December of 06. I think it came out like February of 07. So it's one of the very first sort of third-party games. It's made by System 3, they make all sorts of budget stuff. But I quite liked this back in the day, and I remember actually paying full price for this on the day it released back then. Turns out I do actually already have this, but this copy is in much better condition, to be honest. And yeah, it comes with the booklets and the disc is in good condition as well. A couple of tiny little scratches on the disc, but it's 15 odd years old, you can kind of expect that. Next up for £1.50 was Emergency Mayhem, which is a game I think by Codemasters. Now Codemasters historically didn't really support Nintendo consoles until the Wii came along. I think they had a falling out back in those days, well, Game Genie or something like that, but you have to look into that yourself. But yeah, there's sort of like it kind of reminds me of like an old sort of like Sega arcade game really. It's all sorts of crazy stuff going on, and you're basically all three emergency services. I seem to remember that there was an arcade Sega game that was very much like this back in the day. So yeah, it was quite one you don't see very often. And for £1.50, I thought give it a try. I don't have it in my collection. I do now. Next one was one I haven't actually seen before. It's Dual Quest Trilogy. Quite a mundane sort of selection of games. Dual Quest, you either love them or hate them. I don't really mind them, but would I go out of my way to set up my Wii to play this? Probably not. I'd probably play it on the DS or maybe even mobile phone, or play the Xbox version if there is one just to get achievements out of it. A bit like that really, a bit materialistic. But this was released in 2011 by the look of it, so this has got one of the nicer type, like vinyl type discs, which a lot of the earlier Wii stuff was like sort of very metallic-y type, whereas like sort of they were scribed, whereas these ones are like a nice smooth picture disc. So they have a bit more longevity over the other discs, and they don't serve with disc rot as much. But this came with the manual as well, which is good. So we're on a good streak so far. £1.50 bought me Overlord, The Dark Legends. This was another Codemasters one. I think this was developed by Climax as well, quite well known at the time. But there was a big console version of this, so PS3 and Xbox 360, and then this is the Wii sort of like afterthought / port version of it. And again, it's very easy to forget that the Wii had loads of these sort of games that fell through the cracks, ports and weird versions of like the bigger console versions. So we could probably give this a playthrough at some point. Again, manual, and this was actually in very good condition for this one, so quite pleased, £1.50. The last up on the Wii selection is The Crude's Prehistoric Party, which cost me £3. And this game came out in 2013, so it was a very, very late Wii game. And I remember I didn't buy this because I was probably going to buy the Wii U version at the time, and even that disappeared. But you'll notice that the Wii U version of this game is about 70 odd quid nowadays, whereas the Wii version is £3. So I can only imagine it probably sold better on the Wii than it did on the Wii U. Go figure. But yeah, it's like sort of mini games, and play as your favourite character from the Croods, if you remember the film that well. Up to 4 players, and again, it's on one of those later type discs, so nice sort of vinyl picture disc, and yeah, it came with the booklet. So all of them were a success when it came to coming with some degree of completion. The 3DS one that I bought, I took a bit of a gamble on this one because I didn't have my list of 3DS games with me, and bear in mind I have about 280 of them now. There's Rhythm, Final Fantasy. Turns out I have the curtain call one of these, which is the second version, and I didn't have this first one. So I'm quite pleased now that I do have this, and it was £8, which is crazy cheap for that, I think. For a game that I think that one day will be worth good money. I think that's going to go up and up and up in value. And what was even better was the fact that it comes with the VIP code as well. So yeah, that's a nice little bonus as well as a booklet. And yeah, so that's my finds from CEX for this time around. I want to try and do this on a regular basis where I set myself like a budget for like a tenner. Obviously not taking into account something that I really want. And then sort of showing you how much bang for buck that you might be able to get. And also just seeing sort of how good or bad quality that the click and collect games are. So yeah, I'll perhaps see you next time, and good luck out there.